Hi, I'm Valerian Mendonça, GHK faculty. Greetings and welcome to this presentation on the psyche-body connection in Germanic Healing Knowledge. Germanic Healing Knowledge, or GHK, is firmly entrenched in the science of embryology. Like many of us, you too must have come across instances where you heard someone say that their medical issues started after a certain trying circumstances, like the death of a loved one, a divorce, a business loss, or an insult, or humiliation, etc. Psychology recognizes that emotional shock can lead to somatization. Homeopaths know that the root cause or etiology of disease, as in other words, ailments from or never well since, is of paramount importance and crucial to the treatment protocol. So do many other healing modalities. GHK recognizes this traumatic and often sudden event that creates a conflict shock that affects the psyche, brain, and organ, and that triggers a biological program to safeguard and help the person survive. Let us understand psyche as viewed by GHK in this presentation. Let's start by trying to find out how life events speak through the body. Imagine an external event as a white light. White light is neutral. It simply is. When white light passes through a prism, it is refracted into many colors. Each color has a different quality, yet all come out from the same source. As per Germanic healing knowledge, the psyche functions just like this prism. Life events, loss, shock, conflict are neutral to the biological level. What gives them emotional charge or physical impact is how the psyche interprets them. The psyche assigns meaning, and that meaning shapes emotional, mental, and physical responses. This explains why two people can experience the same event and respond very differently. The event doesn't change, the meaning does. So, what exactly is psyche? We can't locate it on a scan or point it anatomically, yet it powerfully shapes our biology. In GHK, the psyche is seen as the guardian of our biology. When something unexpected happens, the psyche is the first responder. Before logic or conscious thought, it asks a simple question: am I safe? Based on this instant assessment, the psyche signals the brain, which activates a specific biological response in the body. This happens automatically and in real time. When the psyche later receives reassurances, safety, or resolution, the biological program may no longer be needed. So, what shape or form does the psyche take? We can't put a finger on it or assign it to a location. Yet, it's one of the most important mysterious forces in our lives. In GHK, the psyche is the guardian of our biology. When something unexpected happens, the psyche is the first to register it. Instantly, it translates the event into a biological signal, sending messages. It sends messages to the brain and body so we can respond. The event itself is neutral. like a pure white light, but each person's psyche assigns meaning, and that meaning shapes the body's reaction, all happening in real time. Here's the fascinating part. When we acknowledge the psyche's role and let it know we are safe, the psyche actually reverses the biological program it had set in motion. Let's look at a real life example. A man says, I've been unwell since my father passed away. My first thought is grief. And yes, natural grief is present. But when we explore further, we find that what affected him most was the sudden responsibility that fell on him. He felt unprepared. He doubted his ability to shoulder the role. Soon after, he developed a right-sided frozen shoulder. In GHK, this is understood as a self-devaluation conflict, a feeling of inadequacy or not being capable. According to GHK, the right side relates to the father and partners. Self-devaluation conflict affects the cerebral medulla. This controls the new mesoderm, which forms bones, joints, and connective tissue. The symptom reflects the meaning of psyche assigned to the experience. Now imagine the same event, the death of a parent, but experienced differently. This person feels he has lost a close confidant, a friend, a mentor whose hugs were a source of love and assurance. What he misses most is the hug, the closeness, the nurturing presence. Here, the psyche interprets the loss as a separation conflict. In GHK, separation conflict affects the sensory cortex, which is part of the cerebral cortex, and this controls the ectoderm. The ectoderm forms the epidermis, the outer layer of the skin, the top layer of the skin, our organ of touch and connection. This person may develop skin conditions such as rashes, eczema, or dermatitis. Same event, different meaning, different biological response. Now we take the third scenario. This person feels orphaned, left alone, abandoned, forced to fend himself because of the death of his parent. The psyche registers this as a refugee or abandonment conflict, often described as a feeling like fish out of water. In GHK, refugee conflict impacts the brainstem, the most primitive part of the brain, which controls the endoderm. The kidney collecting tubules, essential for survival and fluid balance, are controlled from here. This person may develop kidney-related symptoms. Once again, the event is the same. The interpretation is different. So the biology responds differently. At this point, some natural questions arise. Why do people interpret the same event so differently? Psyche perhaps is shaped by past experiences, conditioning, family roles, and unresolved conflicts, epigenetics, conscious, the subconscious, and the unconscious mind. Scientists are still trying to unravel this enigma. In GHK, the psyche very simply interprets the events through a personal biological lens. Our biology is designed to ensure survival, nourishment, and safety, and our psyche is there to ensure that. These interpretations are not conscious choices, they happen instantly. How does an inner experience become a physical symptom? GHK explains this through embryology. Each tissue arises from a specific embryonic layer and serves a biological function. When the psyche perceives an unexpected threat, it activates the system best suited for survival. And can we engage the psyche to support healing? Yes, we can through awareness. The psyche receives clarity, safety, and resolution. It may no longer need to remain in survival mode. So to sum it up, psyche is not passive, it is an active agent of change. The psyche is not emotional chaos. The psyche is not a psychological trauma. It is not thinking wrong. It is a precise biological meaning maker. Healing, therefore, does not depend on the organ or on the brain. It depends on changing the biological meaning the psyche assigned in that moment when the trauma or conflict was registered. Once the meaning shifts from danger to safety, healing begins naturally. This is the true power of understanding the psyche in GHK. Before we close, I invite you to a gentle reflection, not to diagnose yourself, not to label your body, and certainly not to judge it. In GHK, symptoms are not mistakes. They are meaningful biological responses. Different organs respond to different inner experiences, not because one is better or worse, but because each carries a different biological story. As you look at this table, don't analyze it logically, just notice. And ask yourself one simple question. Is it possible that my condition began around a meaningful or unexpected experience? There is no right or wrong answer. I now warmly invite those interested in health and healing, especially practitioners of homeopathy and other modalities, to explore Germanic healing knowledge with curiosity and openness. Tribute to Dr. Right-Gerd Hammer, who discovered the 5 biological laws and presented us with the knowledge of Germanic healing. If you feel comfortable, you may leave an anonymous comment, not your diagnosis, just a reflection. Your reflection may help someone else feel less alone. Thank you.